It takes all sorts of people to make an army, and God does not create cookie-cutter men and women. His saints are people with all sorts of different backgrounds, some poor and some rich, some men and others women. God is not one to stay within his own boundaries. He often surprises us how he will choose one person to carry out a task when it seems that he should have chosen another more qualified. And so he did it again when he chose Blessed Catherine Gerridge, a young, loud, mischievous girl who preferred to dance rather than to sit quietly and to help protect priests during the French Revolution. Catherine Gerridge was born in 1754 in the humble village of Dumy, France, to poor peasant farmers. She was the youngest of 7 children. As a young girl, she was very tomboyish and enjoyed playing pranks, which were harmless for the most part. Besides this mischievous side, she also exhibited great compassion for the poor, something that God would use later on in her life. Her mother died when Catherine was still young, and she was sent to work as a servant for a neighboring farm, where she continued, of course, pulling pranks and making people laugh. She made her first Holy Communion, which made a deep impression on Catherine. When she was 20, she moved to Mauriac with her sister, where she worked as a lace maker. It was during this time in her life that Catherine had a spiritual awakening and found her inspiration from her patron saint, Saint Catherine of Siena. In an attempt to imitate her more closely, Catherine became a Third-Order Dominican at the age of 22. All of Catherine's life, she loved to dance, and she would dance often. She even danced the Boree for her sister's wedding, but feeling that dancing didn't seem appropriate for a Dominican, she vowed that that would be the last time that she would dance. And as hard as it was, Catherine kept this vow, although she said it was the most challenging sacrifice of her life. Instead of lace-making, pulling pranks, and dancing, Catherine spent much of her time in prayer and begging for alms for the sick and the poor, and provided them with food, clothing, and spiritual comfort. Then, in 1789, the French Revolution began when Catherine was 35 years old. God desired to use Catherine's knack for pulling pranks to help the priests who had refused to pledge allegiance to the anti-Catholic government. Those who did not yield to the new regime were thrown into prison and later killed, along with those who were helping them. This didn't faze Catherine, and she committed herself to helping priests by hiding them in the forests and guiding them at night to administer the sacraments to families. She carried messages to priests in hiding, even creating an underground system to hide them, and brought warnings of patrols and roundups. She would also smuggle vestments as well as wine and wafers to sell